Hey, how do you like this shirt? I couldn't wait to buy it when I was on a driving range in San Diego about 8 years ago, and I've barely worn it since. I think I decided it was too loud, but now I guess I've got the sober confidence. Just pulled it out of the closet, and since when is anything too loud for the golf course? And I also think I've got the self-love to not care what anybody thinks anymore. And that's what I want to talk about. I wish I knew when I started this process why the work works. Would have given me a lot more incentive to do the work. A couple of the reasons I love to talk about is that it brings spiritual growth and personal development, something everybody needs. We're just lucky enough to be called to do it, and that strengthens our prefrontal cortex, which is the key to life. It's the key to mental health, because it allows us to fight off our emotional midbrain, which is where our cravings come from and where we're left powerless when our frontal cortex is so weakened that it shuts down and we're at the mercy of our midbrain. But another key component, I digress on that. I've got plenty of videos on that, starting with number 10 on the neuroscience. Check it out. But I love another aspect is gaining self-love through recovery. We come into recovery basically loathing ourselves. We constantly disappoint ourselves. Every day we wake up, we say we're not going to drink that day, and then the voice goes to work on us, wears us down, and ultimately we often find ourselves taking that hypnotic, almost out-of-body, trip to the liquor store. And then who knows from there? We do embarrassing, humiliating things and feel shame and guilt the next day. One woman recently said that she hated herself and she thought everyone else hated her too. Awful. So, what we need, I've learned, another thing I wish I knew, at the core of recovery is community, honesty, and self-love. How do we gain that through recovery? It's by making ourselves proud every day, by doing hard things sober. Initially, that's just making it through the day for as long as it takes. But there are things you can do, harder things you can do just from home. But they all involve doing the work. A guy recently shared that his wife and his therapist said that he was choosing alcohol over her. And I said, that's not exactly how this works. And I explained the neuroscience and just what I said about willpower, not playing a role when our midbrain takes over. But where willpower can play a role and where he can choose over choose his wife is by choosing to do the work. Ultimately, you need to do this for yourself, but it's great to have incentive like that. So what I told him is, it's great, he's going to meetings, but there's a lot more aspects to doing the work. And that's, again, where the willpower comes in. A woman once shared that, my husband said I lack willpower, I guess he's right. I was like, no, that's not the case. But again, you can summon willpower to do the work. It's hard to do, it's hard to make time, but if you want it, you can do it. So as you do it, and as you get to know yourself, as you get to know yourself and transform yourself, you become less interested in harming yourself as well as harming others. And you want to find better solutions. So, as I said to a guy, you do the work, you make yourself proud every day, you'll get stronger every day, the voice gets weaker, you'll share about it, and before you know it, you'll wake up with a crush on yourself. They say we can't love others until we truly love ourselves. And I also say you can't truly recover until you love yourself. The book Eat, Pray, Love is about a journey of self-discovery where self-love alongside spiritual exploration and personal growth plays a vital role in achieving freedom, happiness, and self-acceptance. It mirrors the recovery process. They say through her travels in that book, she learns to embrace her desires, pursue happiness without guilt, and move beyond self-doubt. That's exactly, again, how recovery works. It's not just the truth that will set you free. It's self-love. Who would you rather be more in love with, alcohol or yourself? Trust me, it's yourself. I found the greatest love of all inside of me in sobriety. It's easy to achieve if you do the work. I have indeed found the greatest love of all inside of me through this process. I used to, when I was in the throes of drinking, I didn't think I was worthy of anyone. i.e. worthless. And now I think of worthy of everyone. Back then I was just waiting to die. Now I want to live forever. It can happen. You just have to stay sober, stay patient, and do the work. You know it, you too will wake up with a crush on yourself, just like me. And that might sound, a little overconfident, but as one woman said, of course I'm full of myself. Anyone who's not is starving. So why not put in the work and show up for the one life you have? Boom. That'll do it. As always, stronger, sober, and please like, share, subscribe. Thanks.